dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's the Falcon Graphics Tuesday Night Lights Micro Sprint Series. Get ready for action!
Alright, hello and welcome everyone to Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway out there in beautiful California. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin invited us to bring these minis or micro stocks out to do some ripping around the dirt track here. And we got ourselves some pretty competitive cars out with us tonight. So far we have 4 cars with us. I hope we get a couple more before practice ends here. They got just about 7 minutes to do so. But so far Larson Parker leading the field here. Fastest time in 8:64 at this very compact little dirt oval. Michael Steele, this pink car we're watching here, the only car on track at the moment out the ripping laps. He's the second fastest, just over a tenth of a second behind Larson Parker time-wise. In fact, we got one car looking like he is experimenting out on the big dirt oval, seeing what the car can possibly do out there. Ray Andrews in that 420 machine having a little bit of fun here in the waning minutes of practice. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be using the shorter infield stretch here. Justin Walbring here, seeing if he could do a better lap time than Ray on the outside track. But right now, we are looking like we will have a 4-car field as we come into the final 5 minutes of practice here. Larson Parker, Michael Steele, then we got Justin Walbring as we are following him, ripping around that outside track. Then, Ray Andrews bringing up the back of the pack, but don't let that dishearten you, anyone. First to fourth here, less than 0.2 of a second. An 8.64 at the top from Larson Parker, 8.87 here from Ray Andrews in fourth. It could still be anybody's race once we get going green flag racing here. See Larson Parker coming out of pit road to do a few more practice laps. Why don't we hop on board with our current top of the board driver, Larson Parker, see what he's doing behind the wheel of this machine. It's looking like Larson's having a little bit of fun doing some donuts. Got that car up in the air on the front end. That's kind of impressive little stunt. Not conducive to a fast lap time, but hey, you know what? At this point, these guys, they've figured out what they've got to do for this track. They're getting a few practice laps here and there, and they're still having a little bit of fun when they can. Well, Mick, if you get in here, there's still about 3.5 minutes to practice. You got just about that much time before we kick off with the heat racing action. Michael Steele, Ray Andrews, the only two cars out on track. They might have the track starting to wear in where trying to touch those top times will be difficult. In fact, yes, no one the last time across the line has been under the 8 or 9 second mark. Everyone has been 9.03 or higher the last lap they've taken around here. So they probably started to wear that track in just a little bit to the point where they're not going to be able to get down under that 9 into the 8 second range again. All cars are off track at the moment, doing some final tweaking. As I say that, Larson Parker coming back out to do some more laps. Maybe some more donuts at the end. We'll have to see. Oh yeah, looks like we got the 75. Mick Olofsson making his way onto the track, getting that race car unloaded and ready to roll. Hopefully he gets out there in time to get a few practice laps in, get a feel for this car before we go to the green flag. Ray Andrews coming out, probably one last time, get a few last laps in. Track definitely haven't slowed down here now. Larson Parker, Ray Andrews both running 9.2 second lap times. Not quite what they were before when the track was less rubbered in. One more team joining us. Adam Baker in that 22 car getting unloaded, getting his pit stall set up and ready for race time. 45 seconds remaining in this practice session though. Looking like him and Mr. Mick Olofsson going to go into the heat races cold. Not getting any laps in before the practice session comes to an end here in 30 seconds. Mick trying to change that. He is going to get one, maybe. Yeah, he'll make it about 3 or 4 laps in here if he's gets that thing wound up. Let's see what Mr. Olofsson can do. 5th place right now, a 10.5. He's going to have to do a bit better than that to catch up to the guys ahead of him. But definitely has to get the car warmed up, get those tires worn in. But he's not going to have time to do that as we go checkered flag on our practice session. Mick Olofsson doing a little dance there down into the infield. Going to finish up 5th in this practice session. And Larson Parker taking the top of the leaderboard here as we get ready to go to our first green flag of the night here. We will go into the dark for heat race number 1. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. Adam Baker drawing the lucky number 1 position with no practice sessions. Going to be starting on the front row if he can get his car to the grid in time. Starting outside of row number 1 will be the 33 of Justin Walbring. We saw some speed in that car in practice. Let's see if he can continue that on here in the heat race. Bringing up 3rd place here in heat race number 1 will be for the 420 car of Ray Andrews. Adam running out of time here to get that car gridded or to the starting grid. Race officials are going to give him out, and never mind, he has now gotten that number 22 out there, started and ready to roll. Pace truck should be starting to roll for 2 warm-up laps here very, very shortly. They are on the rolling. See what these guys can make of these cars on this track here for 10 laps. Very interesting start. Pace truck not even pulling off, and we get the green flag here. Adam Baker with a good jump on that inside line over Justin Walbring. Ray Andrews kind of slotting behind just a little bit here, but starting to reel them in just a little bit, trying to catch back up. In fact, it looks like Walbring's starting to put a little bit of pressure on that 22 car for the lead. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this race will set the starting lineup for the inside line. You win heat race number 1, you will start on the pole for our 40-lap feature here. But things are starting to even out here. Adam Baker holding serve on the front. Gap holding pretty steady between him and Justin Walbring. Down to about 0.2 of a second here. In fact, Walbring now finding a little bit of speed that last lap around. They're closing that gap. Walbring 0.2 of a second quicker the last time across the line. Adam closing that gap a little bit. Adam being a little bit faster than Justin across the line the last time around here. These guys keep swapping lap times. Adam searching around, trying to find a little bit of speed in that micro machine. Walbring trying to find a way around. White flag in the air. One more time around here. Walbring trying that bottom line. Bob is a little bit off of turn 2. Is not going to be able to catch 22. Take a pass 4 position here. Adam Baker going to hold on for the win over Justin Walbring. Ray Andrews holding on to 3rd place. Alrighty, getting ready for heat race number 2 here. Not sure what's going on with the time here, but we travel back into the daylight here for heat race number 2. Larson Parker starting on pole position here. Michael Steele, our points leader, on his outside. Mick Olofsson in that 75 machine will be bringing up third place as we get ready to take the green flag here one more time around. Now Michael Steele came into tonight with a 16-point lead over Jason Smith in second. Jason not making tonight's race is going to hurt him in points as the green flag comes out. And they phase through the pace car. Michael Steele making a big move to the inside on Larson Parker, looking to take that lead away, and does. Parker a little bit sideways. That cost him a little bit of time. That allowed that 5 car to get to the inside. But now Parker doing what he can to try to keep that 5 car in check. Tried to make a move to the inside there. Michael was wise to that. Kept that door closed. Parker had to back out of the throttle a little bit to keep from running into him. Ooh, contact between the top two. Michael Steele goes high. Parker getting to the inside. Michael's not going to take to that too kindly. We're going to have to watch, see if he returns the favor. He is right there with Parker. 4 laps remaining, 3 at the line. It's bumper to bumper here for these lead 2 cars. Parker trying to gain a little bit of a gap over that 5 car, not able to do so. Washes up a little bit on the entry of turn 3. Steele tried everything he could to close that gap. Fighting hard here as they come around turns 3 and 4. Should be white flag, and yes, there it is, waving in the air. One more lap for these two to get around here. Can Steele find something on the inside? Coming to the line, Parker will hold on to the win. Then we got Michael Steele finishing second. Mick Olofsson having some issues. Mick, one of the cars without any practice, just holds on to the lead lap and finishes in third. Now these guys will get a chance to go for a 3-minute warm-up session, get one last feel for where the track has changed, where the speed is in the track, and what to expect for the next 40 laps out here. Right now, Michael Steele, fastest car on the track, best lap of a 9-second flat. Ray Andrews in second, and that 420 machine with a best time of 9:17. Mick Olofsson, the third car on the field right now. 9:31. Then we got Adam Baker running a 9:42. Justin Walbring just coming out for a little bit here. Larson Parker still to come out on track. Last half of this warm-up session before we go into our 40-lap feature. Justin Walbring working his way up to third place on the leaderboard, just behind Mr. Ray Andrews. Adam Baker falling down into fifth behind Mick Olofsson. Larson Parker still not on track, the only car not to take laps here as we come into the last 40 seconds of our final practice session here before we go green flag racing. Down to the final couple seconds, the leaderboard not changing much at all throughout that entire practice sessions. Michael Steele, the fastest car of the cars that went out. Ray Andrews, Justin Walbring bringing up the top three. Adam Baker, Mick Olofsson, the last two cars that put in a time. Larson Parker opting to park that car for the entire warm-up session. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our feature race. And now let's take a look at our starting lineup. On pole position, winning heat race number 1, we see the 22 car, Adam Baker. We saw this man trade paint in heat race number 2. Larson Parker in the 18 car. Inside row number 2, we have Justin Walbring in the 33 machine. Michael Steele in that light pink car. Number 5 starting in 4th place. Bringing up 5th inside of row 3, we've got the 420 machine of Ray Andrews. And then finally, bringing up tail end Charlie on the field is a 75 car, Mick Olofsson. Getting ready to go green flag racing here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. 6-car field here for us tonight. Tiny, tight, narrow little track. Not a lot of racing room. We've seen the bottom line in practices be the best line so far as green flag goes. Great start on the inside row by Adam Baker as we got cars going around. Justin Walbring, Ray Andrews looking like they're getting a little tangled up here. They keep the cars pointed forward, keep going straight. But Larson Parker, Michael Steele making a move for the lead on Adam Baker. Both cars moving around, but move those guys up multiple positions here. Steele trying to take that lead away from Parker. Working very hard on the back bumper of that number 18 machine. But Parker not giving him the time of day, not giving him an inch of room on that inside line. Let's move on back. Ray Andrews moving back up into 3rd after having issues on that initial start. And Baker falling down through the field, down from the lead down to 4th place. Mick Olofsson not having a great time, losing a little bit of time to our leaders. Almost going to be a lap down. In fact, I believe Mick is being scored a lap down at this point. Yes, he is. But right now, Larson Parker is holding on to the lead. That pressure is eased off ever so slightly from behind him as we complete lap number 9. And we have a caution on the field. Let's take a look back and see what we can find here. Looks like the 75 of Mick Olofsson having issues. Comes off at turn number 4 cleanly there, goes into 1 and 2. Coming through 4 again and gets that car sideways and loops that thing all the way around. Bringing the caution flag out for the first time here tonight. Bunching the field back up there. Larson Parker did not want to see this caution. He was having to contend enough with that 5-car Michael Steele. Now this brings Ray Andrews, Adam Baker, Justin Walbring right back into that fight. As we see the cars start to double file back up, getting ready to take that green flag one more time here. Green flag back in the air. Ooh, Parker was ready for that one, but Michael Steele to the inside for the lead. Can he do it? Parker's going to hold on to it that time but not by a lot. In fact, Parker has Steele cleared now coming off turn 2, but Steele not giving up that fight. Adam Baker making good moves off that restart too, getting around Ray Andrews, taking 3rd place away from him. Ray and Justin fighting for 4th. Ray's going to hold on to it. Justin not quite going to be able to do too much about it. At least not so far, but right now at the lead of the pack here, we got Larson Parker holding off that hard charging 5-car. Oh, Michael wants that lead. Larson's not going to give it up to him without a fight. A little further back in the field here, back to Ray and Justin. Ray's running high side, Justin just a little bit lower, got side by side going into turn number 3. Ooh! Contact made between the two. It sends Ray off of the racetrack out into the outfield. The large portion, he is just going slowly down pit road, ladies and gentlemen. He has to obey the speed limit out there, or else he's going to get penalized even worse than what he is. Bad. That is a big problem for that 420 machine. Pretty much going to eliminate any chances he had at this race. Unfortunate turn of events for Ray right there, but in that turn of events, we missed a pass. Michael Steele taking the lead away from Larson Parker. Adam Baker still holding on to third place. Justin Walbring trying to reel that number 22 in. Now we see Michael Steele in this last half of the race, 16 laps to go, starting to pull a gap, something we haven't seen at all yet tonight. This is about the biggest lead we've seen in all of our racing action so far. We see the lap car of Mick Olofsson coming in front of our race leader right now. This could be what Larson Parker needs. If Michael Steele has to work to try to get around that 75 car, that could bring Parker back into this battle for the lead. Mick getting up and out of the way, letting the race leader go by, not fighting him too hard here. Not what Larson wanted to see, but Larson's going to have to do the same to get around the 75 now, too. 10 laps remaining in this race here. Michael Steele easily out to the lead. Parker not finding an easy time getting around that lap car of Mick Olofsson. Mick on the inside there checks up a little bit, lets the 18 car clear him. A little bit further back here, though, we see the 33 car, Justin Walbring, catching up to that 22 machine of Adam Baker, giving him a bunch of grief for third place with 6 laps remaining. He is there. Does he have the time to find the way to get around him? Once again, Michael Steele, that gap had closed in a little bit while they were working their way around the lap car of Mick Olofsson, but that gap's starting to open back up here. Right now, this is the battle. Big move by Walbring. It gets the 22 turned around. Caution flag is out. Michael Steele did not want to see that. Caution flag under 10 laps to go. In fact, we are down to 3 laps to go. We will be getting things lined up. Now, I know it shows the laps counting down here. Laps will not be counted under caution. They will restart with 3 laps to go. The scoring will update once we take the green flag once again here, which looks like it's going to be when they come back around. Michael Steele, Larson Parker, Justin Walbring, Adam Baker. Green flag back in the air. 3 laps remaining. Michael Steele with a good start. Justin Walbring giving Parker a little bit of a howdy do there. 2 laps to go here. Adam Baker making a move to the inside. Ooh! Gets sideways. Brings the caution back out. Adam Baker getting sideways, tried to avoid caution. Let's take a look at that replay here. Had a good dive down to the inside of the 33, and just to avoid contact, turned that car hard to the left and ended up spinning himself out into the infield. Caution probably would not have come out, but Mick Olofsson was right there behind him, forcing the race officials to throw that yellow. We should be restarting here, I believe, with 2 laps to go. And I believe we should get that mark right now. We should be 1 to green. Yes, green flag back in the air. 3 wide, we got car into the outside wall. Caution back out. Mick Olofsson misjudging the corner entry. Ooh, and he is in a bad spot right there going into turn 1. All of our drivers do a great job of avoiding him. Let's take a quick look here. He misjudged the entry of turn 1, got into that outside barrier right on the initial restart. And that brought the caution right back out. Michael Steele not wanting to see all of these restarts. All that's doing is giving Parker and Walbring a chance to make a jump. Hopefully one more try. Green flag back out there. Larson Parker tried to make a jump on the outside. Michael Steele was ready for it. On that inside line, going to hold him off as we go white flag one more time around this tiny little dirt oval. And going through 3 and 4, Michael Steele going to hold off a hard charge from Larson Parker. Justin Walbring going to hold on for 3rd. Adam Baker bringing it home 4th. Mick Olofsson, after an unfortunate race, bringing it home 6th. And then after being forced into the pit road area on the outside of the track, Ray Andrews bringing it home in 6th place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give it just a couple of moments here to see if our top 3 come over to the broadcast booth area to do their post-race interviews. I am not seeing anyone in Discord at the moment. That doesn't mean they are not here, though. But an exciting race. Michael Steele getting win number 4, I believe, on the season. That's going to allow him to open his points gap up. Yes, that'll be win number 4. Points gap is going to go fairly considerably. So, and yeah, we got a couple of our post-race drivers coming in, our top 3 drivers. So let's bring in our 3rd place finisher here, the wild man here, Justin Walbring, bringing that car home 3rd. Justin, how are you doing? Well, definitely, you know, we talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about how you, actually, I don't know if we brought it up on the broadcast, but you definitely had a bit of a hell scare, had a few of us worried, and you're on the mend now. That's the main thing. Well, it definitely doesn't seem to have slowed you down. In fact, if anything, it made you a little bit faster, or at least put a little fire under your behind to make you want it a little more. Well, you know, they say Rubbin's racing, and making some contact is one thing, just straight up dumping a guy's another thing. Well, and just the unusual shape of this track, you know, like I'm not sure what the pace truck driver was doing, but they need to fire him, get a new guy. Uh, Absolutely. We didn't see a whole lot of passing, but you made a few to get up there into third place, so. Well, that's definitely a bonus, and after, like you said, your health issues recently, it's great to see you're back out here with us. You know, we weren't sure we were going to see you again this season. You did mention that you might be down for a while, and it's great to see you back out here again. Well, one race a night is better than no race a night. Alrighty, Justin. I know you got a few sponsors on that car you want to give some thanks to. Yeah, and you know what? You definitely had a fan in the broadcast there. You got a couple of shout outs from them cheering you and Ray on, so. All right, well, congratulations on third. Get better, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of you this season. Alrighty. I do apologize. I forget to click that button every time I do a post-race interview, and I just realized you did not hear any of Justin's interview. I do apologize for that. We will definitely make it up to him at some other time, but how about this? He did not finish in our top three, but he decided to jump up into the waiting room, so we'll get a pseudo second place uh, post race interview with our race sponsor, Mr. Mick Olofsson from Falcon Graphics. Mick, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, you know, that was a bit of an interesting race there. You and that pit wall got fairly intimate at the end of the race. What happened there?
Yeah, that pace truck messed me up.
Well, yeah, I mentioned it with when I was talking with Justin there. I don't know who's driving that pace truck, but he needs to get fired and you know they got to find someone else. They got to get off the track when you're going back to green.
Yeah, I was hauling the mail and I all of a sudden he turned right in front of me and I got distracted and slammed right into that wall.
Well, I mean, at least it didn't run the top one or two run, but you still don't want it for the boys back at the shop that have to repair these cars, especially with that solid of a hit.
Oh yeah, that was a hard hit. Car still handled pretty good, okay. So I don't think anything got bent too bad, so we should be okay.
Well, that's definitely a bonus, you know, as long as you don't damage things too badly, and you can, you know, hopefully get home and get it straightened back out, get back out here for next week.
Yeah, I think it's only the second time I've ran these. Man, those cars are a handful.
They're yeah, for being what would be considered a low power learner sprint car, they don't really handle a whole lot different than like a 360 sprint. They're powerful for their weight.
Yeah, their power to weight ratio is pretty good.
You know, like it's just a little motorcycle engine in them, but these sprint cars are. I think the driver's the heaviest part of the car in these ones.
It definitely is when I'm driving.
Well, we won't go there, but anyways, Mick, I'm sure you know you sponsor this season here with with Falcon Graphics, so I'm you know we definitely want to give a shout out to you for helping us out with that.
Oh, no problem. It's fun watching these guys run on Tuesday nights, even when I can't be here. I try to tune in and watch.
And if anyone's watching here and you need an iRacing wrap done up for you, you contact this gentleman right here, Falcon Graphics, Mick Olofsson. He does some pretty damn solid work.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And I enjoy your broadcast. You do a great job for those.
Well, thank you. And by the way, I'm still waiting on my my Pilsner car there, Mick. Do we have an ETA on that?
I think I'm gonna try to finish that one up this weekend so you can debut it Monday night.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what kind of shiny concoction you got for me.
Oh yeah, I think you're gonna like it.
Alrighty, Mick, I'm sure you got a few other sponsors in that car you want to give a shout out to before I let you go.
Oh yeah, we gotta give a quick shout out to Riger Logging, Falcon Graphics, Poor Willie's Bar and Ten Strike, some of the best burgers on Tuesday nights and best walleye on Fridays. Don't forget to check out Poor Willie's, Foreseen Excavating, and there was one more. Oh, Halverson Trucking LLC.
Alrighty, well, do not forget to catch this fella here, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday nights over on All the Dirt as he broadcasts the Extreme Forces Racing League's Gen 6 series. And that's been an exciting series so far this season. I don't know how you do it in the booth trying to call that by yourself.
It's a handful some nights. It's hard keeping up with everybody. That's a big field.
Yeah, 30, almost 40 cars out there. We just raced last night at Darlington, which I was honestly expecting that race to be a lot more of a caution fest than it was. I was not expecting green flag pit cycles in that one.
Yeah, neither was I, but I was happy to see him. We had probably a good 60 lap run there where it was all green flag.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mick. Well, you brought that 75 car home in fifth place. It's a building point. We can go from there, right?
You betcha. There's always room for improvement.
All righty. You have a good night, Mick.
You too.
Alrighty, let's bring our race winner here. Race win number 4, Michael Steele in that 5 car. Michael, you're just kind of running away so far this season.
Things are fine.
Well, you came in, you had a 16-point lead over Jason Smith. He did not show up tonight, and you won the race. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that point lead is going to be just a little bit wider for you now.
Yeah, I'm hate to see him not here, but I'm not going to lie. Glad to see a little bit extra point lead just in case I decide to take a night off here between now and the last. I don't remember how many weeks we have left, but I know every week it's just kind of dependent if I show up or not. So it's never bad to have that 1 week cushion.
No, it's absolutely not. And you've already had to miss one race, but that has not slowed you down on that racetrack, winning 4 of the, I believe, 5 races you've made so far. We saw a very difficult passing track here tonight, and you had to start behind the 8 ball, as it were, with Larson Parker ahead of you. What did it take to get around that 18 car?
Patience. I mean, I put myself back there. Knew that once I saw that he was on the inside and I was on the outside in the heat race, that I just wanted to get around him right then, and then hopefully not have to deal with him the rest of the night, because I know that he's hard to get around, and heat race so easy to miss the corner just a little bit if you're trying to hold it tight. And I got a little time penalty, so I had to give that up and give that spot back to him, and then had it 2 different times in the features. Just thankfully it didn't really affect me. But yeah, Larson's always fast no matter what you put in him in, and we have a lot of those type of drivers where they can drive a lot of different vehicles, and Larson's definitely one of them, and he's really fast. So yeah, I knew that it was just going to take a lot of time and patience, and hopefully he would. I could tell that he was kind of not really committed to the bottom. I think he was running the bottom because he knew that's where I wanted to be. But I think that my biggest thing was eventually he's going to slip up, and hopefully I'll be able to be right there to take advantage of it. And luckily that's how it went.
Well, and one thing I've always said about stock car racing, or really racing in general, is it's just as much of a mind game as it is skill. You can sometimes beat out a faster driver just by getting in their head. If you know that he prefers to be on that top line and you're better on that bottom, you can play those mind games and make him make moves he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if anybody's raced around me enough, they can definitely tell pretty quick, especially on dirt, that I like being running the bottom, kind of chopping my corners off. I can run the top side, but it doesn't really. It's just not as impressive to me. So I've always just been more impressed by uh, Mark McDowell and guys like those in real life driving, especially like Eldor is one of them, where he's really good at Road 100, the long races, and just pinching off and hugging the fence and everything like that. Like I said, that to me that's way more impressive than putting your spoiler up on it and everything. But um, yeah, it's if you've raced around me long enough, then you know that I prefer to be on the bottom. And Larson's raced around me quite a bit, and he probably definitely at least he could. I'm sure he could at least tell that that's I wasn't really budging off of that because I practiced pretty much the entire time there. So
Well, and for the most part, we didn't really see too many cars venture out to that higher middle or outside line until about halfway through the feature, and that was more, I think, just experimenting to see if there's more grip out there.
yeah, I mean I ran it a little bit in practice, but I could especially 1 and 2 it was pretty good because the wall continues around the exit 2 down the back stretch, so it kind of chops everything off. But 1 and 2, or coming out of 4, I mean, and going to the front stretch, the track is just so wide out there that you got to be careful coming back onto the inside the mini track because there's a little bit of a lip there. I saw Larson kind of jump a few times over that little berm, but there's also speed to be found up on the big track just because it hasn't really been used yet. So for me in practice, I just realized that turn 4 is just way too far out there. You can make it be way too far out there that if you just could get the car pointed forward off the exit of 4, you're going to make up a lot of that time back and be pretty quick there.
Well, you definitely found a way to be quick. You found probably one of the few passes that was made all day. You know, even in the practice session in the heat, one of the few passes, and it was a pass for the money.
Yeah, that's what we keep hoping for. It's like I said, it's I plan to be here hopefully the rest of the season, but like I said, it's always nice to have a 1 week break in case I decide to take off and do whatever. So yeah, we'll I don't remember where we are next week, but we'll see what it's looking like and hopefully be there and put on another show.
Well, I do believe the schedule that was posted up in the team or the series Discord wasn't quite correct. I didn't proofread it well enough, apparently. We are at Limaland, I believe, next week.
Yeah, so that sounds like a track that I might want to skip. But we'll see. I don't really like these things on the bigger tracks for some reason. Kokomo wasn't the most fun, but I think that Lima Land might have a chance to be a little bit more. Maybe it'll feel more like a big sprint car like Eldora or Knoxville or something like that. So we'll see. Um, have to definitely run some test laps this week to see how fuel is. Make sure we don't run out of fuel for next week. But
Yeah, we have ran into issues with that in the past, so that's definitely something we might want to look into.
yeah, I slipped up. I told you I'd do it, and I slipped up on the last race, whatever it was. Was it Huset's last week or whatever? So yeah, I'll do a better job, and I'll if I'm not there, I'll definitely let you know or whatever. I'll let you know ahead of time. That way, make sure we have enough for the full 40 laps because more laps is more fun.
Oh, for sure. And no worries, Michael. You volunteered to do it. That's something I should be doing as the league host. So
Well, I'm on here. I mean, you know me. I do graphic design and everything for pretty much a living, especially at this point with all my health issues and all that. So yeah, I got time to. Sometime I can find time to run a 10, 20 laps and see where we are.
well, and I just realized that the three interviews I did today, the one common denominator between all three of you, you all do graphic design for iRacing and other exploits. So why don't you talk a little bit about your design business?
Yeah, Still Graphic Designs. You can check us out on Facebook. Have a Discord. The Discord, because it blocked, I've made it private, so may have to send an application or whatever in to get approved for the Discord. But yeah, check out Still Graphic Designs. We do iRacing wraps, real life wraps, um, all the good stuff. We do logos, pretty much anything you need for make your race car logo business look good. We can get you set up.
All right, and I know you got Steel Graphics Designs on your car as a sponsor, but I'm sure you got a few more up on that car. You got to give a shout out to.
Oh yeah, um, I've been slacking and the last couple of weeks and done them last. So definitely Marcy and Vivi for allowing me to do this. Last Thursday night was a big win for me just because us having to put our puppy down a couple weeks ago and that was first race back and beside Monday and yeah, any win right now just goes a long way, just mentally wise to get us through for, or at least me personally. So always got to dedicate this to our puppy. We definitely miss him. Jacoby James Racing, Rise Bracelets, Ross Stoughton Racing, um, Peanut Baker Racing, JBM, 51 Raceworks, Archangel, Custom Building and Fabrication. My parents got on to me for not giving them a shout out, so I got to make sure I give them a shout out. Of course, you, Dean, Mick, for everything y'all do at the leagues of broadcasting and give us something to race.
Well, it's definitely a pleasure watching you guys out here, especially on the dirt. I can't wait till we hop into the mini stocks. We are on the not so dirty version of this track, but the bigger track for the mini stocks. So
Yeah, thankfully, so far I've had, I think I've raced 3 races and went, I want to say second or third. I want to say third and had a first in there, and then I was running top 2, and I think I got wrecked the first week at Bristol maybe, but yeah, we'll see. I normally suck at those cars, but we've been doing pretty good so far this season in the long run. So we'll see how it goes.
absolutely. All right, Michael. Well, congratulations on win number 4 this season. You are dominating the micro wing sprint here so far, and can't wait to see what you make of the final half of the season here.
Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate you. Good luck in the mini stocks.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Tom Quiring. It has been a pleasure bringing tonight's race to you. We are going to call it a night here tonight, and I hope you will join us next week as we go to Limaland for our beginning of the back half of the Falcon Graphics Tuesday Night Lights Dirt Micro Stocks series. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure being here for you. An exciting race tonight, and yeah, thank you for coming, and goodbye.